Hey, what's up, humans? Welcome back to Dark Souls 3. In the last episode, we defeated the old Demon King and the Thresher Maw. But now we need to go back there because of the giant crossbow thing that's got 3 of them. Crossbow ballista. So we're just sitting here at the shrine.
Ah, 'tis good, wasn't he?
It's like I need to get some more scales and some more chunks. But we can start getting another ultra great sword up there. Because we use ultra great swords.
Prithee, be careful. I don't want to see me.
How?
Wolnir's crown and such. So this is where we buy the armor of the bosses that we fight. And now we can buy Titanite shards.
Ashen One, be sure.
I believe this is a good spot to start because we need to get up there. I don't know how we're going to do that. It's got a ring. Yay. We're right up in there. Oh my god. I don't see anything back here. I think we should move on. So why don't we move on? Got a ring wall down there. I see. Well, I think we'll do that. Speckled stone plate ring. I'm a true knight. Is it time to change our outfit? Maybe not the Pope hat. Lizard ahead. So as we continue our journey through Dark Souls 3, you gotta calm down, bud. Is that a lizard or is that a dog? Where did this guy come from? You just hanging out up there? Nope, you're right here. He hits hard. rolled right up into his mouth. No. Alright, so just ran past him. So I have a doll. I read this before. Yeah. So that must have been the barrier. Misfortune ahead. All right. These guys hit pretty hard. What kind of trouble will we get up to this time? These guys think they're so clever. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening here. Wow. You got a big symbol of something. What a pyromancer. Oh no, he's up there. Pontiff Knight Armor. I hear a crystal lizard. You guys yelling like that? Can't see you. I think so. Can't open this. Nope. Fog wall. Well, they've left the building, so maybe it should be easier for us to get in. Open this door. Ow. He was behind me. Pontiff Knight Shield and Gauntlets. Need Greaves and Helmet. Next. And we'll have their full set. Claymore. Tough bastards. Now we got this guy up here. Yes. Pontiff Knight Crown. Well, I don't know what to say. I haven't really said much so far. But I do feel like I sprinted all the way over here. And should go back and explore the other areas more thoroughly, then come back. What? Boy, those skellies really evolved, haven't they? Not down there. You there. That's the guy that's controlling the ball. Ow. This place is awful. He came back to life for some reason. Got some ashes. Where did the crab come from? I think I'm going to call this Death the episode. I get it. Why are you still rolling? It's not a very big place. Maybe there's more in the opening area. I guess we'll try down. And this is back down here.
Welcome home, speak. Very well, then touch taken. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels. Ashen one, sovereign, I was ashen. Farewell, may the...
Gracious, passing fine ash thou'st given. Let this ash be. I only hope thee.
What do we get this time? I don't really know.
Ashen one, be sure.
Why are you dead?
Oh, hello. Fine work, I say. Discovering Irithyll in the Boreal Valley, all in a day's work. If the tales are true, it is home to old moon-worshipping nobles, and should be packed with treasure. What do you think? Shall I go and see what I can find? A fine choice. I am Grey Rat the Thief. What I bring back will be worthy of that name.
Well, he's got a spy hander now.
I am Grey Rat the Thief. Goodbye. I will leave for some time. So long for now. Do stay safe, you hear? Or my efforts will have been for naught.
Alright, so he's gonna go find some more stuff.
Ah, there I am. I'm afraid I can't. I can't. It is only. Heed my fear of the home of pyromancy. Isolith was scorched. Undoubtedly, it was a flame of chaos, tangled by a witch's hand. But who's to say that this bonfire's flame is any different? Heed my fear. Undoubtedly.
Well, Isolith, what we found there was the bed of chaos. And so, what was her name? The Witch of Isolith? Anyway, I feel like she created that monstrosity. And the monstrosity of her children. Quailag, Centipede Demon, the Ceaseless Discharge. All pieces of shit.
Do not be gone for long.
Oh, Champion of... Do you wish to hear a tale? You know, in my home of... I would be... Although, but if I...
Thought you were gonna tell me a tale. A tale of two swords.
Have a pleasant journey, Champion of Ash.
Aha, so.
Chaos Bed Vestiges.
Ah, most fine kin and all slave. Oh, I have, in fact. Now.
I want to see if I have anything for this guy up here.
You. Me, pickle pea. Me, bumperum.
Let's see here.
You. No. That no pickle pea. That no bumperum.
I don't know what she wants, so. So I guess she's not gonna get it. No.
You.
Covetous silver serpent rings hanging out up here. Nobody's up there. Almost died there. Firekeeper stuff. That's what we just got.
Ah, Ashen One.
Welcome home. Speak. Very well. Then Tuthaken. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels, manifestations of disparity, elucidated by fire, burrow deep within me, retreating to a darkness beyond the reach of flame. Let them assume a new master, inhabiting ash, casting themselves upon new forms.
How much dex do I need for that one weapon?
Souls withdrawn from their vessels, manifestations of disparity, elucidated by fire. Farewell, Ashen One.
Ah, 'tis good, wasn't it?
I need 20 decks for this one. Jeez.
Prithee, be careful.
I haven't been very talkative today. can't really get into the playthrough. Not with real life looming ahead. Yeah, last week at time of recording, I got demoted at my job because I'm viciously efficient. So it has nothing to do with my performance. It has to do with the fact that they can't afford to pay me that. So. And I don't make very much. I was making 16 US dollars an hour. And now I'm down to $12.50 an hour. Which is 50 cents above minimum wage, I guess. That's a lot of money to be losing. That's $420 a month that I'm losing. And then they had the audacity to be like, well, you can get it back if you boost our sales. It's like, don't take away my rate and then ask me to boost the sales, because I'm not going to do that for you. I'm going to literally do nothing. I'm going to do the bare minimum for a minimum wage. And I don't even know if I'm going to put out this video. Didn't really accomplish anything, so. Not a lot going on. But yeah, I'm just not into it right now. Humans, I need to speak with you. I am sorry that I am not in a good mood. It has nothing to do with Dark Souls, or anything else, or anything about this channel. But rather my job. Usually I have the green screen up, but I mean, I want to apologize for this video. But my job has made it impossible for me to be happy right now. So I guess I will just explain what is going on. I work at a restaurant that has a delivery service. I'm not talking Uber Eats or DoorDash. An actual legit delivery job before those even existed. So, what happened was, is I had worked there for 5 years. I still work there, but it's been 5 years of me driving my car into the dirt. And I worked real hard. I learned every street and never had to use a map. And I'm not from this town. So that's different from when I was doing a delivery job similar to that back in my hometown, where I lived there for 20-something years. And, felt like I knew the town like the back of my hand. I did not. Moved to this even bigger town. 5 times bigger. I grew up in a town of like 27,000 people, so.
Ah, well, just good, wasn't he?
So, that being said, it definitely was a task to learn, at least my delivery area.
Pretty be careful.
Now they had a system up there with the dispatch screen where you could have a map, and you could select the deliveries and then hit the map. You can see where they are in relationship to each other on the map in real time, and be like, oh, okay, well that doesn't go with that one, right? This delivery does not go with that one. Another driver can take it. So we had that, right? Then we lost all of our drivers, except for me. Like, I had gone through 2 GMs. It's now been 3 GMs, but I've gone through 3 GMs and 2 entire crew. There has been over 100 people that have been hired since I started. And I, for the most part, trained them all. Ah, you bastard. But there is nothing really expected of your delivery drivers. They just take the food and deliver it. They don't do anything else. So, yeah. I learned the entire menu. I've also worked in kitchens my entire life, but I learned the entire menu. I hop on the line in the PM when there's not a lot of people to help around, if any at all. Right, and I train our new in-shops and our new drivers. I'm even training our managers. I've trained my GM. And the last GM didn't really need it, but I did need to train him on the delivery, what to expect from deliveries, our delivery area, because it's like all these guys don't even know where the streets are or anything like that, because the owner decided that they're not going to pay for the map function anymore, so nobody knows anything apart from me and this other guy who's a snake. We'll get back to him later. But like, so I'm like just watching as this guy is literally cherry picking all sorts of runs from our less fortunate newer drivers, and then they get upset and then they quit, and then that puts more pressure on just me and him to deliver all these deliveries and keep the customer satisfied. Now I know that the other guy is only doing it for greed. He's a greedy little bitch. Like, he has no interest in doing it for the customer. That's why I do it. Yeah, it's a job, and it keeps food in my mouth and in my dog's mouth, and it keeps a roof over my head, and it keeps the power on so I can do this for you guys, which is a nice hobby of mine to have. But the job does affect this hobby. It affects my mood, I want to say. So a lot of the time after work, it's like I would think about, well, maybe I should like record after work, or maybe I should, maybe I should go live after work. Once the work day is over, man, am I pissed off and shit, because it's not a high paying job, right? And butt heads with the owners all the time about, like, I know we had been shut down for so long because of COVID. Not like shut down, but our hours severely cut. We hadn't been open our regular hours till 9 p.m. for like 4 years. So everyone forgot that we exist in the evening, and I'm just trying to tell them, like, if we could get some door hangers I could go around when I'm literally standing around training the rest of you other people who I shouldn't be training, right? To go out and try to get our business back up. And it's like, well, that costs money. I'm like, yeah, you gotta spend money to earn money, to make money. You gotta invest. Like what I'm doing here on this channel. I've invested money into my setup, my lighting, my camera. I even bought a microphone, even though my headset comes with one. I bought a PS5 so that my whining PS4 wouldn't come through the mic anymore. I bought a PC during COVID with my COVID relief money to do this, amongst other projects that are in the works, and they're just taking way longer, and they're for a different channel. But this is my first channel. The second one is taking what I've learned here, and we're going to do something completely different with it. We're not doing gameplay. You're going to find the gameplay right here, so don't worry about that. Getting distracted. Sorry, I have ADHD. Needless to say, unhappy with certain aspects of my job. Unhappy. So I had a meeting last week, right? And I noticed something was up when one of the employees was going through every day of last year the driver reports or the driver performance from last year. I'm not stepping in water. Haven't reached the water yet. Okay. Just figured I'd hang out where we killed that demon king. But anyway. It feels appropriate. How about that? I noticed something was up. I'm like, well, they don't just ask for like the last year, 2023's driver performance without getting ready to do something about the drivers. Every day, including the days that we were closed. So it's like, okay, nothing. She had a lot of work to do going through that. I asked her if I could help, and she was like, no, I got it. And then she's like, I'm almost done with it anyway. And then, like 3 weeks later, she's still not done with it. I'm like, I could have helped you. I have nothing to do in the evening. These guys are all up to speed on what we expect of them. I have no one new to train, and I could do all that because I have permission. I had GM permissions, but I was just a driver. But I should say, before all that experience that I was saying, and how good of a worker I am, my last GM fought to get me a specialized position in which I would be in charge of the drivers and routing while also delivering, because they still need me on the road because we didn't have any other drivers. It was like, without me out there, it's just like one person. So again, just like me in the afternoon and evening, but not really doable for lunch rush. So I was fighting to say, like, I will do routing at like 20 an hour, and then they came back with 18. They're like, but we can't have you not on the road, so 16 an hour, and we were getting paid 11 an hour, or 11.50 if you pass the menu test. So you got an extra 50-cent raise for knowing everything on the menu. Stupid, but, you know, again, garbage pay job, and they've always been that way. But we got me approved for 16 an hour. It's like, because I would be bagging up orders and getting them all situated together and helping out the new driver, who was a complete moron. Yeah. And I was trying to help him before I got the pay raise, and I would literally be losing money to the other guy who was a snake, remember? So he would take advantage of the fact that this guy doesn't know anything, and that I would have to do all this extra work for him. So I asked for, you know, originally 20 to just be off the road and route them better before this guy quits. And then they said 16 an hour and you're still on the road. So then the guy quits, right? Meanwhile, I'm still making the 16 an hour. We only hired, I want to say, 2 other drivers after that guy quit. One of them quit because of the snake dude who steals runs and all that, and we couldn't get him written up for that because it's been literally an ongoing thing. He's literally made like 10 drivers quit, so for the same reason. And I'm like, we should look into this. Never did. I guess the owners like him. And then another driver quit because her family was moving. But, you know, and that was only 3 weeks in, so she only got to work here for 3 weeks. And that was not good. Because I'm like, oh, up and down, up and down. I didn't have my pay rate till November of last year. And so we've been doing it for all of this year. So it begs the question is, what were you looking at from last year's performance to this year's performance? And why did she have to go through day by day in order to get this information for you? I felt like, you know, it's the business should have that information already. They don't need to be going through it, like, you know. So we sit down at the meeting. Before I go into that part, I should mention that the snake somehow snaked his way into getting my pay rate when all he does is deliver on the days that I'm not there. So effectively, he's in charge of people when I'm not there. And I thought that was bullshit, considering he works like 3 hours a day for like 4 days. It's like, do the math. I feel like you need to at least work 30 to get that rate. And you at least need to do more than drive to get that rate, right? The routing, the helping the cooks, helping with like the in-shop stuff, like taking orders and all that. The training, the cleaning, the advertising, the sales building, like not only of just training of just the in-shops, but also of managers, that I felt like I absolutely deserved that $16 an hour. In fact, I deserved 18, but you know, what are you gonna do? I was also making like decent tips. I was making tips from them, and I was making tips from driving. So, pretty good. So then we sit down for this meeting. I guess the one employee is done gathering information. I'm like, oh, okay, why are we having this meeting now, right before work? It's like, can we have waited till after the rush so that I'm not going to get deflated and defeated like that. And have the other guy just smiling and snickering because he knows he's not even losing $100 a fucking month for this shit. And I'm losing 420 for my loss. That's a PS4 digital edition every month. So we sit down and he's like, all right, we need to talk about the driver 3 position. I'm like, great. Here we go. I'm like, I'm the only one who's actually qualified to be driver 3. So he's like, what is it that you do here? Now, I didn't actually want to mention the other stuff in front of the other guy, because then I would feel like I'm attacking him and being like, well, I do this. No, if you need to ask any of the employees there, they'll all say that I deserve that rate and that it shouldn't have been taken away from me, and they're sorry, and if I quit, they understand. And that I'll be missed. And of course I say, well, not entirely missed. You can find me here. You can find me right here. But he's like, well, I was to understand that we would do this, because you were losing rates, but now you're just on the road. I'm like, yes, because you haven't hired anyone. Every time they say, well, do you need us to hire anyone? And I say drivers, and then you guys fucking ignore me, so. Because the more drivers we have, the quicker we are, right? The less disappointing we are, and then we will start to grow our business back that they used to have. Because we used to rock with like 10 drivers at lunch, so that's a lot. And we lost all of that because of COVID. And then because they've neglected this store ever since COVID. Like they're playing the victim here, I guess. And I'm like, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. This was all your fault. You didn't have a rainy day fund. And all this shit. And I know more about this store than you do. So, just trying to make ends meet, and now I have to make ends meet better. So there was like, well, you know what? We'll only pay you for your rent. The rest is up to you. Because tips are 2/3 of my check. What they pay me is garbage. $700 a check at $16 an hour. Back down here, $500 a check. Lose $210 a check. Anyway, he's like, well, I don't believe that we need that position anymore. It's just financing. I can't really afford it. Uber Eats is literally like robbing from me. And I'm like, then shut off Uber Eats. Stop doing Uber Eats. It's like, and if you are going to do Uber Eats, at least turn off their drivers. And then we'll be forced to take all the stiffs that we see coming, as well as our other deliveries, because we won't be like putting them on to a third party. It's like, and I knew, and that's another thing. It's like they've literally been attacking us drivers the entire time. Like, oh, we're gonna we're gonna have Uber and DoorDash orders coming through. I'm like, oh great, so they're gonna be taking our deliveries. So they're like, no, you're gonna be taking the deliveries. That's not gonna happen. And then all of a sudden, we've given you an option to have Uber and DoorDash delivery drivers take our deliveries. I'm like, why? Or just in case you get bogged down. I'm like, hire people. Right? But what they didn't tell us was that those Uber and DoorDash orders that were coming in are now going to them and not to our drivers. So, like one Saturday I was there, and most of my orders on Saturday are DoorDash and Uber, and then all of a sudden I'm just standing there, and I'm like, I'm doing nothing today, I guess. Because I guess they still had the websites. The website said that we were closed that day, so people couldn't make orders through the website to have a delivery. I'm like, oh my god, you just fucked this whole thing up. And what I need to do is I need to sit down and I need to talk with the owner one-on-one. I don't want an audience. I just want to talk with him because, you know, I don't want anyone to interject with some stupid fucking bullshit they don't understand. Anyway, so he said it has nothing to do with us or our performance. If anything, you are viciously efficient. But he can't afford to pay me $16 an hour anymore. Or the other guy. I'm like, why don't you just knock him out? Like, he shouldn't have that pay in the first place. Period. It's like, he doesn't know how to do half the shit in the store. You know, the stuff that he does it just to look busy. Like, oh, I'm gonna go restock something that only has 3 things missing. I'm the guy who will sweep and mop the entire store like 3 times a day. Because we're supposed to. Company policy. But is that a centipede demon? Or a couple of them? Wander around here enough, stuff starts to pop up. Like this is the other asylum demon below. Literally the first guy we see when we left our cell. He's down there. We have to go back there for the wall to for the floor to crumble and fall through. And we have this Capra demons and the Taurus demons. Sorry. Yeah, and so we just ended with that, I guess. I was so mad that day, and I'm still mad now. So I'm like, oh, and again, it's like not just the store closures and the limited hours and all of that. I'm literally the only one who gets fucked over at this job. Time and time again. Without fail. Work hard and you won't lose your job. Yeah, okay. You may not lose it. They'll keep you around. They won't fire you. They will fuck with you. So why is the centipede demon over here? just interesting. Don't really remember the centipede demon fight, though. Somehow, miraculously, survived our encounter, and then it was over. That was crazy. That was a crazy fight. I can't believe I actually defeated him in the first try, the first attempt. We will change our setting now. Oh, yes. So now we're here. In this beautiful place. So that's why I've been upset and why this episode was really kind of just bullshit, and I apologize for that. So yeah, it wasn't affecting me during the live stream on Friday or on Sunday, because you guys are there and you're engaging and you're being positive, and it's just heartwarming to see all that. And I try to forget about work when I'm here, but today it was just getting at me because I'm back at work tomorrow, back on the grind, and still debating on staying. Which just sucks because I'm really good at this job, right? Like, really, like you said, viciously efficient. It's not really a phrase I would use because I don't think I've ever heard that before. But I am very good at my job, and when I deliver the food and the customer is like, Jesus fucking Christ, I literally just placed that. I'm like, no rules are broken. Just want you to know that. I am that good. It's like, nope, I didn't run all the red lights and speed all the way over here. I caught every light and I did the speed limit and I got all the way over here in this amount of time, so you're welcome. It's like also because I'm cracking the whip at work. Basically they had given me free reign to jump in and say, hey, I need you to do this, I need you to do this, right? To be a manager without technically being a manager. That whatever I say goes. You could say if the GM walked outside of the door and he had his assistant manager there, right, that I am acting GM. I'm always regulating, I'm always making sure people are on top of shit. And if they do it correctly, then we're sitting there, we're having a good time, and and we're getting stuff done. That's what I've been trying to tell people. It's like I teach and manage through example. So what I do, I wouldn't tell you to do something that I wouldn't do myself, and I wouldn't tell you to do something without me doing it in front of you first. So it's like I go take the initiative and I do something in the kitchen, right? And then the next day, those same people that watched me, I say, hey, could you do what I did yesterday? And they're like, oh yeah. And then they might have questions about it, be like, oh, how do you do that? And I'll be like, well, I'm glad you asked, let me show you. So that was essentially my job, and now it's gone, so now I do nothing. You could call it quiet quitting. You don't get to have the same efficiency, you don't get to have the same work ethic when you take away my pay for no fucking reason. Other than I can't afford it. Why can't you afford it? If you can't afford $420 a month, you probably need to get out of business. Sell your business to someone else. who will in turn end up firing everyone and starting over. In which case I would be granted unemployment, the $16 an hour plus tips rate that I had. Instead, now they've dropped my rate. And they could do that to soften the blow of unemployment from them to me. Because they know that it's going to be a lot. I know it's going to be a lot. So, I don't know. And there's got to be a way to get there. I mean, we're talking about went up the stairs. There's a gate over there. Can lead to over here, I assume. Crystal lizard, I hear it. But yeah, you know, just wanted to take this time to rant, to explain what happened, why I was so quiet, because I don't know, I just felt like I was hiding something from you, which is definitely not the case. I mean, it is the case. I was hiding something from you. I was hiding how I truly felt. Hiding how I truly felt. So we want to go this way. Beyond this guy who's literally screaming. No, it doesn't really look like we can do anything else in there. We come from somewhere in there? Ow. Come here. Damn it. And it's making me play dumb. Because my mind's on something else. I'm not on defeat these guys and move on. And that's why you don't aggro all of them. This area is tough. I'm sort of unprepared for that. These guys have fire, and they're assholes. They're so fast. They're killing me. Alright, I have to get all that back. Literally almost made it to the fog wall. What the fuck? Seriously? What a ridiculous move. Don't really want to risk it. I'll just go level up with what I have. So yeah, I've been angry, deflated, and defeated all week long. All because my job decided that it wants to take food out of my mouth and my dog's mouth. When they're not even compensating me for my car correctly.
Welcome home, speak. Very well, then take. Let these souls withdrawn from farewell, Ashen.
100.
Ah,
No.
Ashen 1.
Welcome, speak. Very well, then take. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels, manifestations of disparity.
I guess it was less than that.
Farewell.
God damn it.
Ah,
I feel like
Ashen
that's
1.
actually still not enough.
Welcome, speak. Very well, then take.
Barely enough.
Manifestations of disparity, elucidated by fire, burrowed deep within me, retreating to a darkness beyond.
That'll bring it to
the
16
flame.
on the physical
Let them
defense.
assume a new master, inhabiting ash, casting themselves upon new forms. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels, manifestations of disparity, elucidated by fire, burrowed deep within me, retreating to a darkness beyond the reach of flame. Let them assume a new master, inhabiting ash, casting themselves upon new forms. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels, manifestations of disparity, elucidated. Farewell, Ashen 1.
So, in conclusion, fuck my job. Alright, now the real outro. Thank you, humans, so much for watching and tolerating that entire episode. I do apologize again. I'll have to get that off my chest. Maybe I'll feel better. I'm thinking of doing something, and it would only be on Twitch. Sorry, YouTube. But I would take the Twitch stream and then I would turn it into the episode for Mass Effect 3, but I was thinking about doing that because it's a comfort game and I feel like I can play it after work and, you know, and have a good time, but I'd want to really kind of focus on Twitch over here and try to see if I can't build a community over there. So, not that anyone is really interested in Mass Effect on this side, on this channel, which is a shame. But I mean, I'm thinking about it. Again, not set in stone. But I've been learning some stuff. Because I have had nobody really show up and chat at all. And I'm dual streaming on both. So I'm set up to see their chats, but nothing's coming through. No one's watching. So it's a shame. You know, but I got YouTube popping off, so there's that. Cheers to you, humans. Sorry for the downer episode. Headbutt the like button if you're feeling like it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the more entertaining Dark Souls 3 episodes in this playlist right here. And check out the First Impressions playlist, where we also have the first impression, my actual first impression of Elden Ring is in there. And the one of Dark Souls 1 and 2 is in there. So the first episodes of each of those, which lead into their own respective playlists. So check those out as well. It's not the only things I have in there, but you can peruse that playlist and see all the games that I have done blind on the channel. Because, again, Mass Effect and Halo are not blind here. And all my live streams aren't blind. Well, besides the first impression ones. So, it's like, but that's, you know, those aren't really like big stories that I don't want to spoil. It's just like I don't care. So we were just playing through those. Most of them are survival or sim games anyway, so first impressions nonetheless. Alright. I really don't know how to end this, so I'll see you Starside, humans. Take care.